Hi, this is Kristin, and welcome to my channel, From Chronic Fatigue to Chronic Abundance. Sorry we got started late. I was trying to do something really fun and it wasn't working at first, so it took me a few minutes to get it going, even though I started getting it right early. But as you can see, these are not real. This is not real makeup. I'm using a Snapchat filter to live stream with you, which I think is really fun, and I think we all need a little more fun in our lives right now. They call this one Fox Goddess. Isn't it cute? And then while we're live, I can switch over to all different filters. Like this one's called Donut Glasses. Obviously, you can see my real glasses underneath the donut glasses. I think this one's pretty cute. Kitty cat on the head. It's amazing what Snapchat's doing with video technology. I can use this Snap Cam on with any video streaming platform I'm on, YouTube, Zoom, Skype, you name it. It just acts like another camera, but it's video. So hi guys, if you're here, we'd love to hear from you. Would love to know who's around. I'm noticing that my laptop fan is working really, really hard right now. Maybe this Snap Cam is really hard on my CPU. We'll see if my battery lasts. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to move. So this is my live weekly Q&A where I am here to answer your questions about life with severe chronic fatigue as a symptom. No question is too silly or too weird, too big or too small. Nothing is too personal. You can ask any question you want. If on the off chance I don't feel comfortable answering it, I'll just tell you, but I'm pretty much an open book. We've talked about some like taboo-esque topics before because I think it's important to talk about every aspect of life with these things. Like it doesn't serve any of us to sweep any part of life under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist, because then we don't get help for the problems that we have. We don't get to the support that we really, really need. So by talking about it, we can destigmatize it a little bit, we can support one another, and we can prevent ourselves from wasting more energy on these heavy emotions that come with these taboo topics that people don't talk about enough, all right? What I talk about on this channel is the healing mindset. It is the one thing that helped me recover from severe chronic fatigue on 3 separate occasions, okay? When I healed, each time I needed different doctors, different supplements, different blood work, different treatments, different everything. The only thing that was consistent all 3 times was my mindset, okay? So I consider it foundational and life-changing and so, so important for any health journey. Because me as one person didn't find one plan to health, okay? I needed 3. And I had to discover them each time as I went along. And I think that the people I know who have gotten better from these health issues, like chronic fatigue syndrome, ME/CFS, fibromyalgia, lupus, they all shared this healing mindset that I discovered. And they all had to discover their own specific healing journey details on the way. No one had a plan laid out for them that worked to get them there 100%. There's always some trial and error involved. And the right mindset is what gives you the hope and motivation and energy to keep going, even in the face of a big, daunting healing journey when things look bleak. So, all right, this kitty cat's actually getting annoying for me. I'm trying to look at the camera when I talk, but I can see it in my peripheral vision. The cat looks seasick. All right, we're gonna get rid of this kitty cat. We're gonna go for something that's not living. Maybe, how's this hoodie look? It looks a little weird to have glasses on glasses. All right, nothing with glasses. Let me see here. Let's go back to something cute. I think maybe a simple flower crown. How about that? My eyes look really freaking big. How's that? Is that better? Hi, Lisa. Let's see. Yes, so my business is helping people with day jobs to overcome burnout. So the Facebook page that I was using has been changed over to reflect that. But the actual group where you guys requested access and where we're posting and sharing things, that hasn't changed. The Facebook group is the same, and it's about 25 members, and it's super closed and super private, and that's not going to go anywhere. It's just the Facebook page I have has been renamed, and Facebook makes it confusing. They require you, even if you're like a person with their own Facebook profile, you can't just go create a group on Facebook. You first have to have a Facebook page, okay? And then that page can create a Facebook group, and that page can post to the Facebook group. And like, I don't know why they make it layered like this. I think it's confusing for everyone involved. But yeah, so if you see that the Facebook page has changed, that's something entirely separate, and the Facebook group is just going to continue being what it is. Hi, Anna. Okay, cool. Glad that was clear. If you guys just joined, I'm having fun with this new Snap Cam. Snapchat has Snapchat filters for live video streaming, which I think is really fun. And I think we all need a little more fun right now. So I think I'm going to intermittently swap out different filters just because it's fun. Oh, this one's so cute. Look at these ears. Oh my gosh, they're moving around my face. I think I'll leave this one for a while. Let's see. So I am here for the next until 2 p.m. Eastern for the next like 47 minutes. I'm yours. I'm here to answer your questions. I want to know what you're struggling with. I want to know what's going well for you. I want to know what you've been trying and maybe not having success with. I want to know just what's up with you and how are you doing? While you guys are typing up your questions, oh, sorry, I hit my mic. That was probably loud. While you're typing up your questions, maybe we should just take a second to check in with coronavirus and make sure that everyone's okay. I know that the past few weeks we've been talking about it, and there's been a lot of concern about, well, you know, are people with ME/CFS more susceptible to having severe symptoms if they get it? And the question is, we don't know. I mean, obviously there's no data on that. The pool of people who have gotten this is just too small for any real meaningful data. They don't even know what the underlying factors are for people who are you know, normally healthy or ill with normal things yet, unfortunately. But the good news is that you're probably all really, really great at self-isolating already and probably emotionally weathering this better than most people who are having to go through a major life adjustment to stay home all of the time, which is not something that you should feel good about, but it's just a little bit of perspective compared to what everyone else is going through. So just maybe something, a little something to be grateful that this isn't a big scary time in addition to a major life transition. It's a pretty normal day-to-day life for you. Let's see. And also somewhat a normal day-to-day life for me because I've been working from home for so long. As an introvert, I've actually really been enjoying spending a lot more time at home without pressure to go out and do things and to have commitments. It's actually been really nice to just have a slower pace of life again. And it's a reminder to me that living in a slower pace of life is part of the healing mindset. It's part of what helped me heal the first, well, all 3 times, really. I always had to get back into a mode of, oh, right, I can't get wrapped up in what I should be doing all the time. I need to spend a lot of time actually feeling what's coming up in my body moment to moment. What do I need moment to moment? I need to spend more time checking in with myself. And I need to stop overriding what my body says with what my mind thinks I should be doing. So even though it's a different application, you know, that lesson of slowing down and tapping into our bodies and honoring our bodies is one that still very much exists. And that's a lesson I use with my burnout clients as well, because people who get into burnout, they've been ignoring their body's messages severely for a very long time. And that's why they're getting into these burnout symptoms and patterns of life. So it's about like, okay, let's start listening to what our body's telling us. And maybe it's not going to be an overnight adjustment to, you know, honoring 100% of our body's messages 100% of the time. But the more even healthy people or like slightly burned out people adapt that way of being, the happier, healthier, more energized their lives are going to be. And like I'm saying, like I need these reminders from time to time as well, because even I get a little carried away with what I should be doing, or my mind thinks I should be doing. Okay, so this Snap camera is draining my battery rapidly. Even if I turn off the Snap cam right now, my battery still won't last for the next 40 minutes. So I'm just gonna have to move over to my desk. Let me get my water. Okay. The lighting here isn't good, but that's okay. Actually, I think the Snap camera is helping with the lighting. That's interesting. So what's going on with coronavirus in your world? Like what's is anyone facing any direct impact day to day from this? Has anyone seen any real change in their day-to-day life? On the extreme end, maybe like, a friend or a family member has been tested positive. Maybe it's harder to get some of the supplies that you need to feel healthy and to feel stable and safe. Maybe there's just a general feeling of more anxiety and fear and uncertainty that, millions of us around the globe could share in. What's coming up for you guys around coronavirus this past week? I'm in Philadelphia, so I'm in Pennsylvania. But yeah, I'm on the East Coast. Plug this in. Okay. Where is that audio coming from? That's weird. Sorry, guys. When I plugged in my monitor, something started playing. Oh, my Pandora radio station started playing. That was weird. Okay, now it's off. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, how could I not think to mention that? People losing their incomes or people losing hours. Let's see, Lisa's having big freakouts every other day. Her husband got his hours cut. That's really scary. And Lisa's daughter lost her job. That's very heavy, Lisa. Oh no, you have family far away that has it. Okay. I'm gonna try to say your name. I can't roll my R, but I've been practicing it since you sent me that video. I'm not very good at pronunciation, so you're gonna have to tell me if this is better. I'm so scared to do it because you're gonna be angry at me if I do it wrong. Rough. Is that it? Is it rough? Rough? He sent me a video that said his first name. It wasn't because the radio show was talking about him. They were talking about someone else with his name, but he sent me a clip to listen to how it's supposed to be pronounced. And what I think it's rough. Oh, Lisa, you guys didn't hear Pandora. Okay, that's cool. It was just on my end then. Not a big deal. Yeah, Lisa, I personally am in a position where I was launching a business that was relying 100% on in-person events. And I've had to, obviously completely pivot from that and figure out a new way forward, which is terrifying and scary. And I'm going to end up using more of my savings than I wanted to use to launch this business because of this. But, I'm not complaining about that. It's just a fact of life for me at this point. And I'm fortunate to have savings to rely on at this time, because not everyone does. Not everyone has, even a month's worth of expenses covered by their savings. I've always been a really big saver, and I've been, a relatively big earner and prioritize saving over spending. So it's a little bit of, I'm lucky, but also I created the situation of having savings for myself. So I can't complain too much about being okay financially. One of my sisters got laid off last week. She worked for a dentist and he had to completely close. So she's completely off work, filed for unemployment. Another sister has stopped working because she's pregnant and working in a pharmacy. And the pharmacy, shockingly, has 0 procedures for like limiting spread of the virus. They're doing nothing to protect their employees or their customers. And as a pregnant woman, she made the choice to stop going into work, which I fully support her in that. Her husband still has work right now because he's an accountant. Luckily, like accounting isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, but his boss has already warned them that if their job hours start to drop, if they don't have as much have as much work, then they're going to have to use their vacation time. And if the vacation time runs out, they're going to have to be fired. I mean, it's nuts. It's really crazy what's happening. Oh, Anna, the only positive for you is that your boyfriend's home and has time to take care of you. That's definitely a silver lining. You know, many people are finding joy in the extra time to connect with loved ones. Other people are finding it horrible to have so much more time with their families. Oh, wow, Lisa. There's over 20 people in the ICU in the hospital near you. That's a lot of people to be in the ICU. I'm assuming those are all coronavirus cases, just coronavirus cases. I mean, that's in one hospital. The social isolating, it seems to really be working, even though it's extremely hard and some people don't understand the benefit of it and some people want to end it. It would be chaos not only for people with coronavirus, but it would be absolute chaos for anyone else who needs to be in the hospital during that time. You know, if there's like, you know, a young 40-year-old father who has a heart attack, but all the ICU beds are filled with coronavirus patients, he doesn't get care. You know, it's not just about the people at risk for coronavirus. It's about everybody who needs healthcare in the coming months. We're trying to avoid a disaster. Lisa, you had to take thousands out of retirement. Yeah, I mean, that's a situation many, many people are in right now. Like those of us fortunate enough to have savings and to have the finances to back us, it's still a hardship because it's putting us behind where we wanted to be financially. And for you guys, it's a very direct impact on your retirement savings, which is a very scary thing to do, no doubt. You'd be good for a year or so and you hope it doesn't last that long. Yeah, we'll have to see how it lasts so long. It's very doubtful things will be this bad a year from now. I mean, people talk about like 2 or 3 months of social isolation, 2 or 3 months of a big downturn in the economy. But, you know, they just posted the unemployment numbers in the US today, and unemployment went from about 300,000 people to 3.3 million in 1 week. We had like, or maybe it's over 2 weeks, over 1 or 2 weeks, we had a 10x jump in unemployment. But from my family's experiences, those aren't real unemployment numbers because the second these businesses are allowed to be open, their plan is to rehire everybody they had before. They're just proactively mitigating their losses by laying people off, having people file unemployment while their locations have to be closed. So they're not like, I don't know, like if things were to open back up again tomorrow, I bet like 2.7 million people would suddenly have a job again. Like I think that's what's happening. That's what I've seen anyway in my own circle. Anna says there are no social events to miss. You have a balcony and the sun is shining, so you stay home, you order groceries, and so far it's great. I'm really happy to hear that it's a good experience for you, Anna. I love that your boyfriend's there to take care of you and you get more time with him and you're enjoying that sunshine and the balcony. I was just out on our balcony over there for 10 minutes before I started this video because it really feels amazing to just sit and enjoy the spring sunshine. Oh, Anna, that's wonderful. You met with your doctor on Monday because she had lots of time for you because nobody came to their appointments, which honestly is probably good for you and the doctor because if nobody came to appointments, it means that there are fewer potential like instances for transmission. And she just got to spend time with you. I mean, that's kind of priceless. I mean, who gets time like that with a doctor? Almost no one. It's always great to find the silver linings in any terrible situation. Hi, Tamara. Any tips on how to stay sane during this whole Corona thing? Lisa recommends meditation. I fully support that recommendation. Although, yes, it is easier said than done. So let's see. Okay. Rough. I think I'm saying it. Tell me if I'm saying it right. You've had 0 panic attacks from Corona since you stopped watching the news. That's definitely helpful for staying sane. He says everyone makes excuses to keep watching the news and be vigilant. Let's see. Lisa says, looks like she's not going to Florida in May. Yeah, of course, you already paid for the condo and airfare. There might be ways to recoup for the condo and airfare. I don't know what credit card companies are doing. If you call your credit card company, assuming you paid for the condo or the airfare with a credit card, you may be able to call your credit card company and get a full or partial refund on this. If the condo and airline aren't willing to work with you directly, your credit card may offer some sort of travel interruption protection for you, and I would definitely check with them. I've heard that working for some people. You're rough. Roth is enjoying the weather in West Europe. You're enjoying it too, but you're not allowed to sit on a bench right outside. Is the sun like too much for you? Is it too much for you to get outside? Like what is it about the sitting on a bench outside that's not allowed? Airline says they can only postpone the flight for up to a year. Okay, that's something. I mean, like once travel restrictions are lifted, hopefully you guys would still be able to go. All right, so back to Tamara's question. Any tips on how to stay sane during this whole Corona thing? Like I said, I totally 100% agree with Lisa's suggestion of meditation. In fact, I agree with it so much that I have been hosting daily meditation sessions at 5 p.m. Eastern. They're live streamed. I created a separate YouTube account for them. So let me pull up the link for that. I can share it with you guys. So here's the link to my other channel. I have like no subscribers on it yet. Just FYI, it's very bare. But daily live group meditations for 15 minutes. Okay, there's a link to my other channel. The meditation sessions themselves are only 15 minutes long because I know people don't have a ton of time. I want to make meditation more accessible, and the style of meditation that I teach is one that does work very quickly. You really only need 15 minutes for this to get your body out of the stress response and into the parasympathetic dominance, which is why I love this style of meditation that I teach. It's so powerful so quickly. So check those out. I've set up the sessions for tonight and tomorrow. You can hit the set reminder button on those videos to be reminded when I go live. And I've had like a couple people show up each night. Like it's, so my other channel, like I'm not really doing much with it yet. I'm really just using it for the meditations. And so far it's just been friends and family who have showed up. I haven't promoted it past friends and family at this point. Let's see. Oh wait, why? Why were you? Oh, are you guys on complete lockdown? If the police will arrest you for sitting on a bench, that just means that no one's allowed outside. Oh, maybe you mentioned that last week that you guys are on lockdown. I did see that. I'm in Philadelphia, and while we're under stay-at-home orders, we're still allowed outside to get food. We're allowed outside to go for a walk or get exercise, but there's no congregating. You can't like meet in groups outside. You can't hang out in the park. You can just walk through. Okay, and Roth, I'm so nervous every time I say it. Roth is in Belgium. All right, Tamara, you said there's some lingering anxiety in the background. Yeah, that's completely normal and natural. And even if we just release that for you just for 15 minutes a day in these meditation sessions, it's still going to help you. I always say you can walk and bike and run, but you cannot sit. Isn't it a crazy time we live in? I mean, who would have ever thought that this is what our lives would be reduced to in 2020? It's bonkers. It's hard to think about sometimes. Other tips for overcoming the anxiety and overwhelm. I'll admit that there have been, on 2 occasions, I have started to feel extremely panicked about this. And what worked for me to get through the panic, to get to the other side, to, I was definitely still like anxious and worried and things, but to not be so panicked and not be so paralyzed, was the first thing I did is I didn't judge myself for feeling panicked. I just accepted that I was feeling panicked. And then, even though it was really hard and scary, I let myself feel the full effects of the panic. Like knowing that panic is a temporary emotion, it's a temporary message from my body to my brain. I let it happen. I didn't resist it. I didn't judge it. I just said, okay, I'm panicked and I'm feeling it. And then I ask myself, what do I need right now? Why is this such a problem for me? And the answer I got when I asked myself those questions, even while I was still panicked, the answer I got, even though it didn't make sense to me, the answer I got is, I need freedom. And then I had no idea why that was the answer I got in that moment from myself. Because objectively, my freedom isn't really that compromised. Like, we're still allowed to go outside. I can still go for an exercise walk whenever I want to. I can still go sit on the balcony and enjoy the sunshine whenever I want to. But there was a deeper and older part of me, a subconscious part of me, that equated any restriction in movement, any inability to leave my home, as an inherently unsafe and dangerous situation to be in. And by remembering my childhood, I was able to start putting together the pieces and understanding why these announced restrictions felt so terrifying to me, caused so much panic, and left me feeling so afraid. It's because growing up, I never really felt safe in my family home. And when I say I didn't feel safe, for the most part, I was physically safe. But it was mostly just that emotionally, I never felt safe. I never felt safe from verbal abuse. I never felt safe from being accused of things. I never felt safe from being criticized. I always felt at danger of those things. I always felt like I was at danger of being criticized, being accused of things, of being verbally abused in some way. And, when I turned 16 and I got my first car and I was able to just hop in that car and leave whenever I wanted to, it was the best feeling in the world. That was freedom to me. Freedom to me, ever since that moment, has been the ability to leave my home or any bad situation at any time that I feel like I need to. So these limitations and restrictions that were coming up were hitting on that old fear. And I'm in a very wonderful apartment now with a fantastic boyfriend who never verbally abuses me, never physically abuses me. There's an amazing dog and an amazing cat in here, and it's a very peaceful, loving, wonderful place to be. So like my panic reaction to a limitation in my freedom had nothing to do with my current scenario and had everything to do with the part of my brain that developed during childhood. And once I was able to realize all of this, I was able to sit with this realization for a while. And just by like sitting and acknowledging my scenario and how safe my present surroundings are and connecting to the present moment and connecting to how I feel in this home, it started to dissipate the panic, and it helped me not feel panicky when further restrictions were announced. So that was how I've been dealing with the anxiety of of the coronavirus. I limit my news. I read the news for like 20, 30 minutes every morning. I catch up on the latest findings. I only read news from a source that I trust personally. I'm not like getting my news on social media. I'm really trying to get only the facts and very little of the details, because I don't care about the details. I just want to know what we know. I think that's important for me. And like what the major authorities on each topic are saying. I'm not listening to what the White House, to what our president has to say about the coronavirus. I'm listening to what the advisors over these specific areas have to say, because they're the experts on this stuff. So like rolling with the panic, seeing it as a message, trying to understand what message is telling me, and then like working through that old emotional baggage has been really helpful. Limiting my news to once a day, and then only getting news from sources I trust. Those have all been how I've been getting through. Is it easy? Is it effortless? No, it's not effortless, but it's working for me. Oh, I love that idea, to start a Skype group for when people have panic attacks. You can call each other when one is in need for distraction and comfort. I think that's a great idea. How can we get that going? How do we get people notified of when someone needs support? How do we make sure someone's there? How do we do that? For now, we can also use the Facebook group for that. I think almost everybody in here is in the Facebook group now. You could even just post in the Facebook group and I'll approve it like immediately. And we can at least reach out for support there. So for Tamara, it's not the restrictions. You're already used to quarantine in a way. Yep. You feel more in danger due to the whole situation, and you feel very overwhelmed and creating safety for yourself. Oh, Tamara doesn't have Facebook. Okay, gotcha. Maybe we should start an email chain. We just start an email chain, and like when someone needs help, you just send a blast out to the email chain and someone can get back to you. Let's see. Okay, Tamara, I want to come back to what you just asked here. You feel more in danger due to the whole corona situation. You feel overwhelmed and creating safety for yourself. Okay, email could work. We should all swap email addresses then. What we should do is we can swap email addresses. We can place them in the chat here. If you guys, I can collect everyone's email address and then send out a blast so everyone has everyone else's. And then I'll delete, or each of us can delete our email address from the chat after I collect it, so that the email's not living out there, because some spam bots are probably going to crawl this chat. And if there's an email address in there, your spam bot's going to have your email address, and none of us want that. Yeah, why don't we do it now, and I'll capture the email addresses, if you guys are open to that method. All right. All right, I got Tamara's. All right, we've got some funny formatting happening here, but that's okay. Boop, boop, boop. All right, Tamara, Lisa, if you want to delete your email, I got yours. Roth, I got yours too. Anyone who's watching the replay, if you want to get in on this, DM me or like message me in the Facebook group if you're in the Facebook group. If you're not in the Facebook group, I don't want to leave my email address in the YouTube chat. Is there, I think YouTube got rid of their DM. If you can DM me on YouTube, that's cool. Or, oh, you know what we could do? You can just comment down below this video if you want to be included on this email chain. And we'll connect when you comment on the video. Okay, let's do it that way. Is a WhatsApp group easier? I mean, yeah, we can do whatever. Why don't we start with emails and we can swap phone numbers after that? Just an idea. All right, Roth, you can delete your email. I got it. Anna says when she was healthy, she would get crazy during these times because she couldn't stay at home for one day. You always needed movement, walking, shopping. But right now it is totally okay because you're so used to staying home. Yes, totally. Yeah, Tamara, I think it's important to like dig into what about this is leaving you feeling unsafe. You know, like my situation wasn't even like realistic or rational given my current situation in life. It was about, you know, very old patterns of behavior and ways of being that were hardwired into my brain, creating feelings of unsafety that actually weren't real. And working through that was very, very helpful for me. So like maybe it's worth, Tamara, spending some time with those emotions and asking yourself, what do you need to feel safe right now? Or like, why do you feel unsafe right now? Or why is this a problem for you right now? And then it doesn't matter if your responses make no sense, just honor whatever answers come up for you and start trying to explore the root cause of that. Because for a lot of this stuff, like when people start hoarding food, you know, even with coronavirus happening, there's very few places that are going to have a real shortage of food available. I mean, there was a short-term shortage of food available in grocery stores, but that's because people went and panic bought food for 2 or 4 weeks. You know, they changed their habits and bought way more than they needed. When the logistical supply chains are still enabled to run, and we're not in real danger of an actual food shortage. So that fear that we're going to run out of food isn't a rational one, but it's a biological one. When we get stressed, our lizard brain, our reptile brain, the oldest part of our brain, is hardwired to hoard food and to binge eat food. Because for the vast majority of time on this earth that animals have been evolving, most stress has to do with food scarcity. So it becomes our number one default response, even though it's not a rational one. So whatever is coming up for you that's making you feel unsafe, like I wouldn't judge that feeling of unsafety. I wouldn't try to resist it. I would just kind of go with it and accept it and say, okay, this emotion is going to overwhelm me for a few minutes while I feel it, and just learn to get okay with that type of discomfort. Because by feeling that emotion and going deep into it is how we develop understanding, and that's how we learn what our body's really asking for. And then we can meet that core need and we can end up feeling better about it on the other side. So I don't know if you want to do that in the group, Tamara, or if that's too like exposed for you. If you want to do that work on your own, that's cool. But I'm just opening up the option to work through this stuff together on the chat. Lisa doesn't have Skype. She's doing her piano lessons on FaceTime due to the virus. Let's see. Tamara lives with her mama. Yeah, that's sweet, Roth. Hoping that Tamara's mom is understanding of her panic attacks, because you used to wake your mom up with your panic attacks. It's really hard. Yeah, honestly, my partner has not been very understanding of my panic attacks when I have them. It's usually during the workday when he's really busy with work, like he's overwhelmed with work right now. He's in a good position to have lots of work to do. But he just doesn't get it. He doesn't really know how to be there for me when I'm panicked in the moment. He just kind of needs me to deal with it, which is, hard. It's not ideal, but I have enough coping skills that I can get through this okay. Lisa, I love that you're still just like going on with your normal things. You're planting your garden and a fruit tree in the back of your yard. I think that's really smart. I mean, I made a video for my business, and I posted it on LinkedIn a couple weeks ago. And it was about what to do if you're feeling stressed about coronavirus. And this was for, normal people, like healthy people who are feeling stressed. And the second tip I gave was to think about what would make you feel safer during this time, and then start to plan to create a life that leaves you feeling more able to cope with and weather disasters like this. For some people, financially, they're going to want to build multiple streams of income so that if they lose one stream of income, they still have other streams of income to rely on in times like this. For some people, they're going to want to buy a farm with a well and have vegetable gardens and have cows and chickens and pigs and things that they can rely on, and so that they don't need to be reliant on conventional logistics like other people and food systems and things like that. For some people, feeling more capable of weathering situations like this means they're going to focus more on creating deep connections with friends and family so that they have emotional support in times like this. Other people are going to work really hard to get promoted in the jobs that they're in, so they're higher level, so they're less disposable through times like this, And for each person, it's going to be a little bit different what they need to feel more capable of weathering scenarios like this. But I think it's worth it for all of us to spend some time thinking about that. Even when you're really ill, is there anything that you can do to make yourself feel a little more capable of handling a situation like this in the future? And maybe it's working on your mindset and developing more coping skills, right? So yeah, I love that Lisa's still like, if it's going to make her feel more capable of weathering things like this in the future, to have more food grown on their property, I think that's great. Because what that's going to do is the next time there's a major disaster, you're going to feel less stressed because you're going to feel more prepared. Your core needs are going to feel not only more met in the moment, but it feels like you're going to feel more capable in continuing to keep those needs met over time, which decreases the stress response. Tama, do I still have panic attacks? I mean, yeah, I had one on Monday. I had one the past 2 Mondays. I don't know what it is about Mondays. I get bad news on Mondays, I guess. So I have not often had panic attacks. I wouldn't say I had them often in my life, but with this scenario, it definitely led me into a panic attack twice in the past 2 weeks. Oh, Lisa, your hubby freaks out at any emotion. It's hard, isn't it? Like, it's so great when they're a rock, and then sometimes you just want them to be a little emotional. He'll crawl into his manhole for a while. Manhole. I've heard it called man cave. I haven't heard it called manhole. It's way funnier. Let's see. Tamara says, for anyone struggling with trauma or other things like that, Irene Lyon on YouTube has very good orienting video, which she finds highly calming. That sounds like a cool resource. Yeah. I'm just, I keep thinking about how I'm in a position of where I'm working really, really hard to try to support myself through this scenario emotionally, physically, like I'm just not getting as much movement as I usually do. And also financially, like I'm supposed to be launching a business and making like good money by now. And I'm not. And I'm having to completely rethink and reformulate from the ground up. So I'm in a hard place of like really wanting to help others and be really supportive, but I also really need to think about myself and support myself at the same time. Sometimes I feel a little conflicted and pulled back and forth between those two desires. But the balanced approach for me is to do what I can for both right now and to have a lot of self-compassion and to not be hard on myself right now. I think the best advice I've seen given at this time is for all of us to lower our standards where we can. Make things a little easier on ourselves, because even if we're used to always being at home, even if our lives haven't been dramatically changed by this, there is definitely extra stress and anxiety and worry that we're all going through, and that all takes energy. So being extra kind, making it a point to do some things we really enjoy, things that are within our energy envelope or within our finances, is really important right now, to do extra nice things, to make ourselves feel a little extra good. The way I framed this the other day is that this social distancing the world is practicing, shutting down our economies at a tremendous cost, is an act of enormous compassion for other people. This isn't a selfish thing to stay home. For the vast majority of us, it's not a selfish thing to stay home. It's not about self-preservation. For many, many, many of us, it's because we care about other people. We want to prevent deaths. We want to prevent overwhelming the hospital system. We want to prevent even more massive fallout. So while we're upending our lives to show so much compassion for other people, we need to really spend extra time showing compassion for ourselves too in this moment. That's where the balance lies. When we're upending our lives, and Lisa's going through like the hardship with her husband's hours being cut, it can't feel good to have your daughter losing her job. Like I know what I'm feeling with my own sisters, having their ability to work eliminated or compromised. Or with my own inability to run my business the way I was starting to run it. Where was I going with that? Yeah, with all of this stuff happening, it's important to also show as much compassion towards ourselves as we can. Be kind, go out of our way to do nice things, go out of our way to start feeling good where we can, when we can. All right, we've got like 5 minutes. I'm gonna go for one more Snapchat filter in this last 5 minutes, just because it's fun. And I'm having fun with it anyway. I don't know about you guys. They have some silly work from home ones. That one's too silly. This one's like too silly. Like I'm a floppy disk. No one wants to sit and watch that. I can have a pizza hat. Oh, I have a little dude eating pizza on me. We'll do this one. Maybe this one's too silly. I can't look at it. I can't look at this for the next 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. I can't. Let's give me an alien. All right, here we go. If I open my mouth, oh, that's what it does. It abducts the cow. All right, that's cool. All right, lots of comments to check up on. Raf is working very hard on trauma and emotions. Expressive journaling is your favorite tool. I love to hear that. Lisa likes Deepak Chopra meditations. Tamara likes it, that I mentioned not judging oneself for anxiety and not resisting it. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I put a post on this I put a post on my Instagram about this the other day. What it said was, instead of seeing anxiety and fear as a problem, like let's just accept them as a part of everyday life and see them as messages, because that's what they are. They're messages. This one is so silly. Does the cow come back? No, one time only. Okay. Ralph wants to eat M&Ms, but the night store is too far. Oh no. Anna orders them. She discovered that nearly everything can be ordered. It's true, even alcohol. We can order alcohol. We can get like wine and beer delivered. It's amazing. You think you look really good with a mouth mask. Oh, Lisa, your daughter freaks you out, 24, and has to go out with friends a couple of times a week, disregarding you and the rules. In the USA, they aren't strict about the rules at the moment. Yeah, Lisa, and it's actually a big problem where younger people in their 20s, college kids, are still going out partying. I mean, they were still going to bars here in Philadelphia until they shut them down. And more kids, more and more young kids are coming down with coronavirus and having severe enough cases to get tested and confirmed. Oh, it's something that really upsets me. Okay, Ralph lives in the middle of nowhere. Oh, Tamara, always. Lisa says to paint a skull on your mask. Silly cow. So my IG is for my business. I'll go ahead and post it in here, but it's not for chronic fatigue. It's for people who are well enough to work but going through burnout. I also have like no followers on my Instagram because it's still very new and I'm not doing anything to promote it. I'm mostly using my Instagram as for anyone who does find me and wants to learn more about me. They can go see my Instagram, but I'm not using it as a lead gen tool right now. It's just there for people who already know about me from other channels, but you can check it out if you want. There's the link. All right. Oh, Ralph has another anxiety. You live a few hundred meters from American nukes. You've been fearing these nukes again, especially at night. Maybe the cow was lost in my hair, Lisa. So Tamara, we'll start with email and then we can figure out via email what works for people. Like Lisa doesn't have Skype. We'll talk about it in email. You've had this fear for years, but since a few months you live even closer to them. Well, he's in Belgium, Lisa. He's in Belgium. And we're definitely not mad at Belgium, but yeah, I totally can see how that's concerning. Do you have any reason to think that, okay, so part of me wants to like reason through this with you, but I know it's not about reason. Like, I know you don't think that the US is just going to detonate their nukes. Another thing is that even if the US is storing them there, that's not where they're going to use them. They don't store them where they're going to use them. They store them in friendly territory. They store them there to scare countries within range of those missiles. But it's not really about the logic or the reason of them. Ralph, what I want to say is that it feels like the nukes could be symbolic for some other sort of problem or issue or fear that you're having, and it's just kind of manifesting as this fear for the nukes. But I really question if there's something deeper going on here that hasn't been acknowledged yet. Because I resonate. Yeah, I agree with Anna, Lisa. It really is unfortunate your daughter's doing that. So many of these young kids are going to end up contaminating like themselves, their friends, their family members. What we're seeing a lot of the times is that the disease is running in families because families think like, oh, it's okay if I keep visiting my family members throughout this crisis, and one person gets exposed and it ends up exposing the whole family. And there have been some really sad cases, like in New Jersey here in the US. There was one big family. There was this woman in her 70s. She had 10 kids. She had like 27 grandkids. They always got together as a whole family every week. And a couple weeks ago, someone brought the virus into their family circle. And within a week, they had 4 family members pass away from coronavirus. I mean, truly heartbreaking, truly, truly heartbreaking. You're scared the nukes will spontaneously explode, but when war with Russia breaks out, they will target this location with a tactical nuke. Okay, I see what you're saying. Hi, Jamie. Welcome. Old launch sites in Europe as deterrent from Soviet Union. Okay, Roth fears the Russian nukes. Tamara says sometimes with trauma, our brain looks for outside things to distract from unprocessed emotions. That's very true, Tamara. Lisa feels she's like at high risk because you've had sepsis once. Also a lot of, I'm not sure what SOB is, and tight ribs with your POTS and CFS. All right, maybe sometimes you think it's not about the nukes, but Russia will target my village when we start being aggressive. Hey, Jamie, no apologies necessary. Everybody shows up when they can. I'm having fun with, oh, it just disappeared. I'm having fun with Snapchat filters on video today, if you haven't noticed. All right, maybe I'll do one really silly face for the last couple minutes here. I love these big mouth lines. They're my favorite. Oh, this one's so stupid. I love it though. Oh, short on breath. Okay, SOB is short on breath. Yeah, Anna, it's such a problem here in the US. The youth just don't care. They're all saying like, oh, well, I'm not going to die from it. So like, whatever. And it's hard to reason with college age kids, like 20-something kids, because they just don't, so many of them just don't care. Let's see. Tamara recommends neurosensory exercises by Irene Lyon to build the nervous system. You guys think this is funny, so do I. I love the big mouth ones. Look at that. And my chin's almost gone too. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to sit and speculate that Russia is going to target the nukes in Belgium if the U.S. starts being aggressive. I mean, the U.S. and Russia have been extremely friendly lately, and as long as Trump is still president, it's very unlikely the U.S. is going to be aggressive with Russia anytime soon, to be honest. So, you know, what else is going on? What else is scary? What don't you want to be thinking about or feeling in your life right now? And, you know, it can take time to think on that. But maybe you could use some of your emotional journaling for that. It looks the best when I smile. Like, look at this smile. Look at this huge smile. Lisa's trying to watch comedy once a week. Every morning, every single morning, I go, you know what, maybe I'll share this link here too. Maybe you guys could use a good laugh. Are you guys ever on Reddit? Reddit has a subreddit called Contagious Laughter, and it is insanely freaking hilarious. I think this is the link. Okay, so basically Contagious Laughter, the subreddit Contagious Laughter, is literally just videos of people laughing at something that usually isn't that funny. Like whatever they're laughing at usually isn't super funny to watch on video, but them laughing so hard makes you start to laugh. It's great. I love doing it. Like after I read my news, I like watching some of this funny stuff because it gets me out of that like crazy headspace. So enjoy it. Wipeout fails on YouTube. There is that too. All right. Raf says, no, Putin says they will target host countries too. Oof. All right. I don't know enough about the political climate to get into any deeper, like logical conversation about this, unfortunately. But it's also one of those scenarios where it's like, well, what can you control about the situation? If you really feel like the nuke thing is a real possibility, I know it's super hard to move, and I know you've moved recently, but is it worth moving further away? If this is a real problem for you, is it really going to give you a feeling of safety and security if you moved an hour or two away from there? I'm not saying you should. I'm just putting that out there to show you creative problem solving. Like if you think this is a real possibility and you need to mitigate the issue, what do you need to do that? If it doesn't feel like this is worth moving for, then I would question what else is going on, because if it doesn't feel like it's worth doing something about, It doesn't feel like it has a real deep-rooted fear then, because if something has a real deep-rooted fear, it makes you want to take action on it. So what is that thing for you? Jamie, I completely agree. The US version of The Office is freaking amazing. It is genius. Genius, genius, genius. Tamara, I'm happy to hear that because I'm loving it too. Anna, she doesn't watch the news. She listens to audiobooks. That's great. Seriously great. All right. So Jamie, you hopped on late. I need to hop off here in a couple minutes. For anyone who hopped on late, we are starting an email thread for panic attacks and anxiety attacks during this time. And the purpose of this is if you want to be part of it, you can just drop your email address in the chat right now and I'll grab it and I'll send an email out to everybody after this and then delete your email address after I get it so it's not here for spam bots to come grab. What we're going to be doing is if you're in that moment and you feel like you're in the middle of a panic attack and you need support, you need help, you can just send a blast out to everybody in the email chain. And when we're available, we'll reach out to you and say, how are you doing? We'll try to hop on a call with you, like whatever seems good and necessary. The email chain is really just a way to reach out to help for people who are willing to be there for you. We may move it to WhatsApp or we may move it to like Skype or something. We'll figure that out in email. But if you want to be a part of that, drop your email now in the chat and I'll grab it. Tamara likes New Girl, Harry Potter, as Anna's listening to. You're listening to The King Killer. Oh, is that Patrick Rothfuss? Is that Patrick Rothfuss, The King Killer Chronicles? They're amazing. He only wrote 2 books though, right? Like the third one, did the third one ever come out? If the third one came out, I missed it. I need to get on that. King Killer is amazing. Actually, let me. King Killer Chronicles, is that who I'm thinking of? Yeah, Patrick Rothfuss. Oh my God, they're amazing books. Highly recommend. I highly second Roth's recommendation. It's serious. It's a little magical. It's about. Oh, it's been too long since I read it. I don't want to say the wrong things. If you like Harry Potter, Anna, if you like Harry Potter, you're probably going to be really into the King Killer Chronicles. All right, Lisa, go shower. Hey, Lisa, I'm not showering very often these days either, by choice. And I don't feel gross. I refuse to feel gross. Yes. Is it anxiety provoking though? I mean, it's kind of a personal thing. I didn't find it anxiety provoking. I found it really interesting and compelling and fun to read, but other people might. If you find drama, TV shows, or like dramatic books to be anxiety inducing as opposed to enjoyable to read, then you'll probably find it anxiety inducing. I'm like, how serious? All right, guys, I need to go. I have another meeting at 2:30 I need to prepare for. Yes, Patrick needs to hurry. He's been needing to hurry for years. You're only scared by Haruki Murakami's novels, even though they are not horror or thriller. Please use this filter every time. I don't know if I'll be taken seriously anymore. All right, guys, I gotta run. This has been fun. I will send the email out so everyone who's on the list gets it. If you haven't deleted your email from the chat yet, make sure you do that. But I think everybody did. And, have compassion, be kind to yourself, preserve your energy, and laugh when you can. All right, bye, guys. Ross says no.